Well, good evening to everyone out there. Yes, I'm back at it. I'm back at it. This is G Mone'a. For those of you all that don't know who I am, but for those of you all that know who G Mone'a is, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, here for another epic show. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Yes, it was a busy day. I made me some money, but you know what? I'm not giving, listen, I put out a little something earlier today. So you guys need to go onto my page, check it out. But I have a guest. Listen, I have another special guest. Listen, another special guest. She is all that. You about to find out. A lot of y'all about to find out. A lot of y'all that know who Natalia Hall is, y'all know that she ain't nothing to play with. She is the real OG. Okay. I'm not gonna give away anything. I'm gonna let her. I'm giving her 50 minutes to just share with you guys. But listen, guys. Without further ado, I want to introduce to some, present to others, a beautiful soul. She is humble. She's genuine. She's authentic. She's organic. I can go on and on and on and on past the midnight hour.
Oh,
I ain't
wow.
gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. Miss Natalia Hall, the beautiful Miss Natalia Hall. Natalia, how you doing, girl?
Oh,
How
I'm
you doing? How you doing, girl?
ready to have some fun. I'm ready to talk to the
Woo!
people. I was back here dancing to the theme song.
Woo! Girl, you know me doing that running man child. Listen, I still got a little, little in me, but I'm trying to get somebody who'll step up to the plate and challenge me in the running man so I can put it on the intro.
You know,
Maybe you'll do it. Look, maybe you'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I
I,
mean, little BG can't do it yet. But maybe mama or daddy can do it, but we gonna see. We're gonna see about that. See what we can cook up.
I
But
like that.
I am so happy. I'm excited. Thank you again for coming on to the show. I want you to, just talk to the viewers. Listen, guys, I need for you guys to like and so. Listen, I ain't say share. I said so. So really, sharing is sewing. So I need for you to like and sow this testimonial hour
Amen.
with as many people as you can because it's going to help a lot of folks what she's about to unload on y'all. Okay. But listen to Natalia. Tell the viewers about who is Natalia Hall. What since you was a little beautiful young young tenderoni back in the day. Go as far back as you want to, but listen, I need for a lot of the viewers to for you to tell the viewers who you are and how did you get to this very day with what you are involved in.
Wow. Thank you so much. First, before I start talking about that, I just really want to thank God. I want to thank
Thank you.
God for just keeping me through this whole entire journey, continuously keeping me and my family and just loving on me and in us and just putting us in position every time. And I'm just beyond grateful for His grace. I want to thank you for putting this together. This platform, like I told you on the side, I see God really using you in a major way, not just for people that live in this area, live in Georgia, but I see Him allowing you to touch nations and putting you in position to where you can interview people all across the world and just allowing them to share their stories. And it's something about the person that is behind the scenes and that is pushing people forward to win. Even though you're on camera, when you're talking to them, you're still doing all the hard work behind the scenes to make it happen. And so I just want to thank you for all that you put into this and just allowing us to have this platform. And my family, I'm back at home in Baltimore. I love you guys. If any of you are watching, I hope I'm making you proud every step of the way. I want to thank Christian. Christian, I love you to pieces. Thank you so much just for being that rock for our family and everything that you do. Just loving on us and BG. And I want to give a shout out to Hayden too and Alyssa. That's our extended family. I love you guys. If you guys are watching this, I can't wait to connect with you soon. And just everyone else, know who you are from the people that I've had side conversations with, that have been an inspiration. And whether it's, just a hug, love, from our pastor, Pastor Chaz, First Lady Charity, from Fufu, I love you. The conversation
Yes.
we've had, Auntie, everybody that has just been on the journey. I just want to thank you guys. Know that I love you so much. So I'll tell you guys, when it comes to just life itself and my personal experience, you don't know, until you know. When I was a child, there was I was always this like firecracker. My mom will tell you guys, I was always this firecracker that always just wanted to do things differently, right? My mom used to always say, if she would tell me to walk left, go right. And that was just me. And it wasn't a bad, just that to be a creator. I wanted to do things differently from the way I saw, a lot of other people doing it. But when you are someone who is, a firecracker and you want to do things differently, right? You also need support as far as direction and just understanding. So as as I started to just experience life like everyone else, I made a lot of mistakes. There were times where I would, try to get into new things and fall a few times. I'll go into some details about that as we continue on. But there were a lot of failures, but those failures took me and catapulted me in a way that I was able to not just learn from myself, but I was able to help others through their.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, being said, when I turned about 23, I got into the finance industry. I was a banker. I used to work for Wells Fargo Bank because I wanted to help people when it came to financial literacy. I've always been a person that's been heavy in the community. So for those of you that don't know, I was one of those young marchers, fighting for our rights, activists. Like I always just wanted to support our community and help people and make a difference. And so when I learned that about 85 to 90% of households struggle when it comes to finances, I got into the finance industry. I started working as a banker. And I'm gonna make you guys laugh. I was that banker that just didn't do my job well, but I did it exceptionally well. And what I mean by that is I used to be the one giving people refunds for overdrafting their accounts, and I was always the
Oh,
one,
wow.
I
Wow.
was the one that was just trying to help people. And my manager was like, "Listen, you do a great job around here." I was always getting promotions, but you can't. He used to always tell me, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
This is how the bank makes money, right? This is
Yeah.
how their profits. And for me, I was just like, well, why is it that they have to make profits off of hurting other people? I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was like I that didn't sit too well with me, right?
Hmm.
So working in that industry, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of things, but I was still that young child when I go back to just being a child where I wanted to go right and the bank was telling me to go left, right?
Hmm.
I still wasn't able to do things in a way where I felt like was really going to change people. It's one thing to give people refunds like that, but I'm like, how do I change the problem? How do I fix the problem?
Hmm.
So while everyone else was having that problem, I was also having issues with my finances.
Hmm.
My credit was bad because when I turned 18, I left my mom's and I ended up moving in for the first time with a roommate. One of my friends back home in Maryland, we had got an apartment And it was crazy because neither one of us had lived on our own. So, we were working a job and we were paying the bills, but then, she was moving other people in that weren't paying bills. And it was just a lot of different things going on.
Wow.
And uncomfortable. I was just like, man, this is not good. So I ended up leaving and I moved in with my grandmother for several years.
Okay.
So, living with my grandmother was always very hard on me. She was hard on me about my speech. She was hard on me about how I presented myself. My grandmother was always that person. She's a writer, and she always when it came to how you present yourself as a woman, how you present yourself as a professional, she was that person that really taught me a lot about how to make it in this world and be successful. So I know I kind of went off, but I want to shout her out because my grandmother, I call her Bema. She's done a lot for me in life, just to teach me how to be how to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
That time that I had to do things on my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you guys, just kind of fast forward with that whole situation of just financial struggles. I knew how to go to school. I went to school, but I also knew that I had to have money. So I jumped into working jobs while I was in school. I ended up dropping out of college. So that I could work 2 and 3 jobs. I did that for several years.
Mm.
So trying to make ends meet, paying bills, living in apartments, and because after that I had several roommates once I moved out of my grandmother's, and so I just knew that something had to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I got connected to my old mentor on social media, and she introduced a network marketing company to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got started with that network marketing company, that was that company that really allowed me to start kind of walking in a way where it was like, okay, now I have a little bit more freedom as far as building my own business and starting something new. So that situation
Mm-hmm.
was a blessing in the sense of where I learned a lot. Did it end up being for me long term? No, but I stayed there for several years. I was there for almost about 5 years. I learned a lot. I'm grateful for the people that I connected to. I'm grateful for what my mentor taught me and what I was able to learn in that place. Even the people that I connected to. It was powerful because God puts you in positions for a reason, even if it's for a season. So I was
Yes.
able, yes, I was able to take everything that I needed from that, so that I could branch off and become more. So if I talk about just now, 33 years old, I'm a mom, right? I'm a mom first to a beautiful boy, beautiful spirit,
Mm-hmm.
heart. And I know that if it wasn't for me taking those steps and going through everything that I went through, I would
Mm-hmm.
teach him.
Yeah.
So God, took me through a lot of just different storms, but in the midst of those storms, I was able to come out stronger and see the rewards from that.
Mm.
So I just once again want to thank God, and I just want to say that there's nothing that you cannot do, and there's nothing that you cannot accomplish when you put your trust in God. There were
Yes.
times where I got angry with God. I tried to sway away and I was like, okay, well, maybe this just doesn't work for me. But God always held on to me because when I was a child, my parents gave my life to Christ, and I made a decision to give my life to Christ. I'll never forget when I got baptized at 3 years old. Those things have stuck with me. So I've always circled back around, even when for moments, I lost my way. I always made my way back around because God never let go of me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Yes. Listen, guys. You know, I can relate to some things that you said. I mean, none of us are perfect, okay? But the fact, a foundation was laid. And my guest from this past Saturday show, Sister Latia Linton, mentioned she really illustrated the word legacy, what it really means.
Mm.
And from what you just said, your grandmother left you a legacy.
Yes, she did.
And legacy is not about giving money or material things. Legacy, you want something that will last forever. Money and material things don't last forever.
Mm-mm.
Okay? But when you lay a foundation for someone that you want to see win, someone that demonstrates agape love, like your grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
that is legacy. She left a legacy. And the legacy that she left, you are a testament today on June 6, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
How powerful of a legacy she left behind. You are the epitome of your grandmother
Yes.
and
Wow.
what she represents. So I don't write when since I've been interviewing that this is God, because I don't have to write when I take in what I take in. It's the Holy Spirit the Holy Spirit absorbs what is shared and what is sold to me
Mm-hmm.
so that I can regurgitate it back to the viewers across platforms. But it excites me to see that prior to the show, I talked to you about your posture.
Mm-hmm.
When you speak, people know, like myself, I know that you know what you're talking about.
Yes.
And so, with that being said, I want to hear more. Not only do I want to hear more, the viewers want to hear more. So, you are you have your own business around financial literacy. So, talk to the viewers about the importance of financial literacy, and what, especially now in this climate, financial literacy, what it is that the consumer need to do. That what do they need to do?
So I'm so glad you asked that. When you're talking financial literacy, one of the things that I learned just around financial literacy is the fact that a lot of people don't even want to look and see where they are. They don't want to know what their financial standing is, and a lot of times that's because they've gone through so many hardships and they assume, you know what, I'm in a bad place, or they know financially I'm just in a bad place, so I don't want to face it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to face it. I don't want to look at it. How do I know and how can I relate to that? Because I was once in that position. I had my credit score was a 498. I was so embarrassed. I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to even try to fix it because I just assumed that there was no way to come from that.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I learned I was wrong. And so the very first step that you have to do is understand it. You have to face it. You have to look at it. You have to face it. And you have to understand that where you are at this moment does not define your destiny. It does not define your future. And you have to look at it as an opportunity. Don't look at it as a failure. Don't look at it
Mm-hmm.
as, oh, I'm just gonna just be miserable and not get what I want and desire, for the rest of my life because I don't believe that I can. I want you guys to change that mindset and understand that the first step is to face it. So how do you do that? Pull your credit report. I'm starting with the basics if that's okay. Uh,
Yes, go
it-
ahead.
it's a
Go ahead. Go in hard.
okay. So the very first thing that you have to do is pull your credit report. I will let you guys know. I have a way for you to actually get your full credit report. You guys can go to
Okay.
smartcredit.com
Okay.
forward slash HSI.
Okay.
That's my company. You guys can get access to your credit report that way by clicking on the link. And what you'll be able to do is set up a membership where you can actually start viewing your credit, building your credit, right?
Mhm.
Managing your credit. And
Okay.
out those steps, you guys can also get my support. I want you to reach out to me and let me know how I can help you. But those are the very first steps that I want you guys to take. Pull your credit report, look at it, and view what's on there.
Mhm.
Once you view what's on there, you want to understand how credit works, right? So
Yes.
I'm going to break that down for you guys. You have something called the credit pie chart, okay?
Okay.
You're going to see all of the derogatory marks on your credit.
Mhm.
So you're also going to see what's positive on your credit.
Okay.
Anything that's positive is going to show up green. If you made payments on time, it's going to show green boxes for the months that you made those positive payments. If it's negative, right? If in negative, I mean, if you have collection accounts, if you have charged off accounts, it's going to show you red marks. It's going to also tell you in red how many late payments you may have had as far as 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I want you guys to know something. If you are, let's say you're 15 days late paying a bill,
Okay.
go ahead and pay that bill now, because what's going to happen, they don't report it until you're about 30 days late. Once you're 30 days late, that's when it gets reported. So even if you're a few days behind, don't procrastinate like I used to do and just assume that, oh, because I'm late, they're going to report it. That's not true, right? And that just came from not having the education. Go on there, make that payment. Even if you're 25 days late, make that payment before it gets reported, because
Okay.
late payments drop your credit score 35%. I
Woo.
that 35%. So you look at it, you have 100% in your pie chart.
Mhm.
35% is your payment history.
Okay.
That goes into the next thing. 30% of your credit score is what we call your debt to income ratio. What that means is if you have, let's say, a car, let's say you have a mortgage, or you have a couple credit cards,
Mhm.
all of those are considered debts, right?
Okay.
So let's say your income is 65,000 a year.
Okay.
If you have a mortgage, now mortgage are not, they stretch those out for years, right? So you have years to pay on your mortgage, sometimes 10 years, 15 years, but that is not going to be such a big impact, but it still is an impact, right? But
Okay.
credit card debts, let's say you make 65,000 a year and your credit card debt is 25,000.
Okay.
That is going to be a little bit above, right? That
Mhm.
percent, because you have credit cards. Now
Okay.
let's start adding other things. Let's say you have a student loans, right?
Okay.
Student loans. Let's say you have 60,000 in student loans. That's now puts you way over that 30%. So that does harm your credit. This
Okay.
is why I don't encourage people not to pay their bills. I would
Mhm.
never tell you don't pay your bills, because that's that's not going to help you. Paying your
Okay.
bills on time is going to help you not only with that debt to income ratio, but it's going to help you with that payment history. So now what have we talked about? We've talked about not a small portion of your credit, just with late payments and your debt to income ratio, that's
Mhm.
65% of your credit,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So a lot of people are wondering, well, why is it that I'm in the fives, and I'm in, I just have like one or two, credit cards, or why am I in the fives and I only missed 2 payments. Well, now you know because of the huge impact that those things make on your credit, right?
Okay.
So then you have what we call the length of your credit history.
Okay.
Okay. This is how long have you been establishing credit? How long have you had credit cards open? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to aim to have credit cards open for at least 5 years, 5 years more, 5 years or more. That is
Okay.
going to show other banks when you're going to purchase a home. We're going to talk about purchasing a
Okay.
home, because I work with a lot of realtors, and that's one of the things that a lot of people are looking for right now, right?
Okay.
When you purchase a home, they're looking to see how long have you been building credit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That makes 15% of your credit score.
Oh, 15%.
So that's 15%. So let's say that you don't have any credit right now. Where do you start to start building that credit history? You can start with what we call a secured card. Okay.
Okay.
A lot of people go and they're applying for these Target credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Walmart credit cards, right? You want to start somewhere, but you're wondering why you may be getting denied. It's because, like I just mentioned, if those institutions don't see that you don't have any credit, they're not going to give you credit
Okay.
9 times out of 10. And if they do give you credit, they're going to give you extremely high interest rates. And
Okay.
then we'll talk about interest rates in a second once I
Okay.
go into the rest of this.
Okay. Okay.
You have your 10-10, right? Okay. So we talked about 30%, we've talked about 35%, we've talked about 15%. Now
Okay.
let's go into another 10%. 10% is the variety of credit. Okay.
Okay.
It looks good. It looks good to companies when you have a mortgage and then you have credit cards,
Okay.
and you have loans, right? That's
Okay.
going to show variety of credit.
Okay.
Having at least 5 different credit lines, whether it be a loan, credit card, mortgage, car note, all those things look good to companies when you have that variety of credit and you're still showing that you can pay it on time
Mm-hmm.
and under your debt to income ratio, and that your length of credit history is good. Okay.
Okay.
So last but definitely not least, okay, your other 10%, what institutions are looking at, okay,
Mm-hmm.
is new credit. You want to always be interested in some new credit. What do I mean by that? Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean you just go and apply for things, but as you are establishing credit, when you start off with that, when you maybe have started off with that secure card and
Mm-hmm.
you've been with that secure card, and then you say, you know what, I want to go to what we call an unsecured loan. That's when you're borrowing the bank's money.
Okay.
That's when companies are going to say, oh, good. So they went from being disciplined, building credit with their own money, which is the
Mm-hmm.
secure card, and
Mm-hmm.
now we can give them some unsecured credit.
Okay. Okay.
Now you've gotten that unsecured credit. Now, okay, I want to go ahead and purchase my first car, or I want to go ahead and get a new car because I've been driving my car. If you're anything like me, I was driving my hoopty for a couple years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before I got Mercedes. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and step into a new car note. All of those things look good when you're talking about new credit to institutions, because if they can see that other people are giving you credit, then you're probably doing something right,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So that's how the credit pie chart works.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I know that's a mouthful of information. The good thing about this is you guys can go back and look over it again, because I really want to make sure that this is informative and you're gathering as much information as you can. And if it's okay, Gigi, what we can also do is later on, if
Okay.
we have, I can touch on some other stuff, but I just wanted to at
Okay.
least the basics. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Definitely so. Definitely. Because I want you to, yeah, there's a lot more
so
that
much
you're gonna
I do.
yeah, you're
I,
gonna have you're gonna have to come back for another
yeah.
segment, for a part two segment very
Oh,
soon, right after. So yeah, this is a great start.
okay. Okay.
So yes, so the smartcredit.com. So Natalia, stated that you can to know where you stand as far as your credit. The first thing that you do if you want to know where you stand, what your current score is, go
Mhm.
under smart credit, one word, no spaces in between. smartcredit.com/H Harry S Sam I ice cream.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that you do that first. Once you do that, go ahead and apply. Go ahead and set up for your membership. Is there a fee for getting the membership, Natalia? Because I know there are
Yes.
people that may want to ask that they're going to ask that question.
Yes. So there's two different options, right?
Okay.
And you're not tied into it. So if you decided that you just wanted to use it for a month, I always highly suggest to use it for at least 3 to 4 months because that's going to help you as far as just watching your progress, right?
Okay.
But 1999. It's 1999 for the first option, and then it's 29.99 for the second option. The only difference between the two memberships is that for the second option, it's going to include identity theft protection for the 29.
Oh, okay.
Okay, which is very important because right now I'm just going to tell you guys with what the world has been going through. I was a victim of identity theft, and it was crazy. Someone tried to use my information to file taxes, and I
Mm,
didn't even know until I tried to file taxes, and the IRS told me. Right,
mm,
you guys want to be cautious with those types of things, and it could just be from old mail being sent to an old address, and someone opens up your mail and gets
mm.
information and tries to do something with it. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That that option I highly suggest for people to utilize. But you can just sign up for 19.99, and that will be the option without the identity theft protection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. 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 Okay. So, guys, 29.99 is really the route you want to go.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
29
listen,
a month. Yep.
some of us take that extra $10 and spend it on stuff that we really don't need. So we're talking about for 30 to 90 days,
Yeah.
you know,
Cancel out meals a week.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth it. You're worth it. I mean, listen, because all it takes is for one hot second for someone to go in and to take your information and go from one end of the spectrum to another end of the spectrum. So I highly suggest that you take advantage of the 29.99. You will not be disappointed. Yes, this is some great stuff, Natalia. I mean, wow. I mean, so their current score, so they'll see what their current score is.
They will
Okay.
see their current score. They also get to see, once I talked about the debt to income ratio, I talked about the late payments. They will also get to see once that process gets rolling. And you guys can reach out to me if you're interested on Facebook. My name is Natalia Hall here. You guys will see. But on Instagram, it's Natalia Hall Official. That's NATALIAHALL official OFFICIAL. You guys can actually reach out to me on on Instagram as well, and you can connect with me and let me know how I can support you. But I do offer coaching. I do offer services to help you guys get back on track as far as eliminating those debts. And so when you get started with
Mm-hmm.
the actual portal and you log in, you're going to see once you start the work, once you make the decision to fix the problem, what your future score is going to be. You'll see your future.
Mm,
You'll also have the chance to actually see what debts are making a high impact on your credit and which aren't making so much of a big impact on your credit, right?
mm,
So you have all that inclusive. So what I try to do, because guys, I'm really big on you knowing long term, right? Not just short term how to fix it, but how to
mm-hmm.
manage and how to maintain it long term. I coach you as far as just helping you to come up with a budgeting plan, coming up with a plan to make sure that you're paying those bills on time. I know that some people's income is not maybe where they want it to be, And I also, direct you and help you with resources to help increase that, to help you pay your bills down. One of the things that I've stepped into is trading. And you guys may have heard Christian Gold on his interview, but
Ooh.
it's a powerful platform. I'm making money every single day, working with him every time he sends out signals. So, guys, I'm able to be home with my son and my family and just enjoy life where I'm not working so hard, as hard as I was before, and losing precious time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still profiting. I'm still making money. I have my own business. I'm able to support his as well as support other people by introducing them to a platform where they can actually be making money effortlessly.
Mm.
A
Yes.
lot of people
Yes.
leave. Yeah, and it's crazy, Gigi, because a lot of people think it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
But when you actually tap into it, when you actually think about it, think about the trillionaires of the world and the billionaires of the world. They have what you call systems. They can't they can't be in the field and working hard every day and money flowing to them like that. A
Yes.
lot of people think that's the case, but it doesn't work that way. So
That's right. Say that.
they come up with systems. And this Signal House is a system. It's a system that was created by Christian Gold to help position people for financial freedom, to where all they have to do is plug in numbers and make profits. And I'm a living testimony to where I'm able to do that while having excellent credit to get the things that we need to get for our family to make sure that we're established and still have the income to match. So
Yes.
both are extremely important. So I can't do this call without talking about that, because the
Oh yeah.
income along with the credit goes hand in hand.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
that's important. Yes, because you have to. A lot of people are there. They don't realize that credit. You can't keep a 800, 850 credit score. You just can't.
You
If you don't
can't.
have the income to support
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
and I believe in being proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait till something happens before you can say, you reach out to Natalia and ask her, hey, can you reach out? I mean, can you restore my credit in 30 days? Where they do that at?
That is,
They
yeah,
it didn't take you 30 days to mess it up.
that part.
I mean,
That
hey, listen, all right now, some of y'all may say, how dare you? But listen, let's just keep it real. But you got to learn to look at the signs. You know,
ex-
you cannot. You look at this. I mean, this show here. And if you look at your credit, you take your look at your credit, and a lot of you guys know what your credit is. Okay, you look at your credit and you see that your credit is less than 600. You can't do nothing, hardly nothing with a 600 credit score, because it's not the matter of if something will happen, it's when it will happen.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your car break down, you own a home and your AC go out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need
Mm-hmm.
gas. I mean, cash. Listen, cash is king, but credit is power.
That's it.
And it's a beautiful thing when you can go to a dealership. And as I stated before, I believe it was one of my first was my first show. Oh my God, it was my first show back in February, when I'm like, you can't go to no buy here, pay here lot. No Lonnie's discount car and some. No Lonnie's discount car and some, and go to a buy here, pay here lot, and where they do in-house financing.
Please
That
don't.
could you tell them, Natalia, about this, what in-house financing is? A lot of people don't. They think that it's cute. They leave off the lot with a Range Rover, and the miles have been manipulated, but they don't know that.
Let me tell you about this in-house financing. First of all, right? They have you put down these big down payments, right? So depending on the car, They take your cash, and 9 times out of 10, the amount of cash that you're giving them as a down payment, the value of that car is less than the cash that you're giving them. Because what happens is they go to a junkyard.
Uh-huh.
They got Joe or Phil up the street that's a mechanic. And Joe and Phil, they just had to pay them a couple of dollars because they're good at what they do just to put the car back together. But you're talking about the car having major types of issues, and they tell you this is how they get you. They can not only manipulate, right? They can not only manipulate the actual Carfax report, right? But they also can manipulate the car itself. They can set it to where the engine light is off and all these things are off, but the car still has all these major problems. So what happens, and I'm sure I can get somebody on here that may have experienced it or know somebody that has, right? Where they pull off that lot, not only does the car depreciate even more, but it also, you're stuck with it. So all the problems that come along with the Range Rover, and Range Rovers, it is not a car to where it's cheap to fix it, right? Mercedes Benz, BMW, they are not cars that are cheap to fix it. So now you're stuck with all these problems that you didn't sign up for. And really, you would have been better off just fixing your credit and waiting for, your score to get to where it needed to be, where you can get either a very nice used car from a trusted dealership or get yourself a brand new car.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, this is powerful. And what I do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Natalia. But because you are I have to call you the financial goddess. Give you
I
a
like
name. I gotta give you a name or something. It's got to be something just make people just want to touch the hem of your garment so they can be made whole.
Thank
But
you.
so it's in-house financing. People think like, oh God, they hooked me up. Yeah, I had to give them a lot of money. But listen, this stuff that is not reported. I mean, your on-time payments is on-time payments reported.
No, it's not reported. It's not
Jesus.
reported at all. And so it's not helping your credit score. And like I mentioned earlier, let me talk a little bit about that, right? So, guys, I had a Scion TC. That was my very first car. I was 21 years old. I had like a 620 credit score,
Okay. Okay.
and they gave me a 22% interest rate
To
on
be
my.
girl, you God.
So here I am thinking I'm winning, 20, I was either 20 or 21, 20 or 21 years old. I'm all excited. I got my car. But really, if I would have had this, and if I would have had the education that I'm giving you guys and that Gigi's giving you guys right now, it would have put me in a completely different position, because I would have never just purchased that car. I would have known that it was more important to build my credit and assess my credit, see where I was, and see how I could put myself in a better position. I also want to talk about, because, oh, and I put $5,000 on the car. I didn't mention that. I saved up my money from working my jobs. I saved up $5,000 for close to 2 years. Okay, close to two. Back then,
That's
that was a lot of money for me, and
wow.
at the time, I was still in school. So I saved up my money and put down that $5,000 for in-house financing. Still, and it was not reported for a 26% interest rate, right? My grandmother offered to be an authorized signer, but I did not take that option from her. I wanted to do it on my own, and that was just me at the time. I'm going to tell you guys something. Authorized signer can be good, it can also be bad. This is why. If you are someone who is a parent and you are putting your children in position to where you're helping them build their credit, because I'm going to repeat this and I want to say it loud. You have mastered How to build your credit in a positive way? Do it. Help your child. Put them in position so that when they get old enough, their credit, they don't have to start fresh. They can already have the tools to be successful. They can purchase their home, they can do everything because now you have the knowledge to where you're not just giving them that excellent credit score, you're also teaching them and you're showing them and you're working side by side with them. I would not suggest that you just give them the credit score and say, "Up, you're good to go," because that's not going to help them learn.
Yeah.
Actually, work closely with them to make sure that they're building it correctly. And then also the flip side, if you don't do the right thing, or if you're someone that maybe was offered someone, a family member, somebody said, "Oh, I can just add you as an authorized signer." If that person misses a payment, that affects you. If you as a parent miss a payment, that affects your child. So you have to be very careful. I'm not going to say that I'm against being an authorized signer because I've seen people's credit scores shoot up from it, but you really have to make sure before you make that decision that it's going to be the right decision. The person that's doing it, as well as the person that is going to be on that credit card as an authorized user. Okay. So to be honest with you guys, as you get older, I say do the right thing to get yourself in position because I've learned this from just life itself and just learning what it takes to get to that point to where you know and you've learned the lessons and you're tired of making the same mistakes and you won't do it again. You have to go through the course and you can't try to speed it up. A lot of times when you try to speed it up, that's when you fall, right? But if you trust the process and you're patient with the process, you understand in 30 days your credit score isn't going to be where it is. But if I do these 10, 15 steps, not even 10, 15, it's really about five, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I do these 5 steps, then I will be in a place to where the rewards are going to come. The rewards are going to come. I'm going to attract those things that I desire, and it's everything's going to unfold because I've displayed discipline and obedience. That's really what it's about. Companies want to see that you're disciplined, that you're obedient. They want to see that you are not someone who just is looking for a fix really quick, because 9 times out of 10, that's not going to get you those results that you want. And
Okay.
that's from my personal experience. I
Well,
don't know.
that's where she's at. She's an expertise in this, so
Yeah.
she knows. And I'm not just saying this to be saying this, but I do know
Hmm.
that this is Natalia. See, God. That's the beautiful thing about God. God has implanted something so powerful inside of Natalia. And all she did was one word. She was obedient. That's God's word. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Hmm.
She was obedient. And God gives his children the ability to make their own choices. And she could have simply said, "Listen, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on that post. That post is not familiar to me." How many of you all have said that? You may have not said that, but you thought that. "I'm not familiar with this post." Really? And you wonder why you still living paycheck to paycheck. You wonder why you can't get what you want. You wonder why you got to go onto the car lot and the sales guy has to tell you what they can give you versus what you want.
Hmm.
See, that's all. See, kingdom building. I know about kingdom building God's way. I was a single mama with 2 boys, and I
Yeah.
was scared. I was very scared after I divorced my son's father. Fear set in, and I was like, "What am I going to do? My boys don't deserve this." God, you selected little old me to be a faithful steward over your gifts. You selected me to be a faithful steward over these 2 gifts. And all you ask me to do is to trust, take up my cross and walk.
Mm-hmm.
So the Holy Spirit said something to me as I was sitting in my apartment back in 1993. Listen to me. Keep your eye. Continue to look forward. Don't look back. Listen to my still, quiet voice. Turn off the television. At the time, we had pages. How many of y'all know about these pages? No pages going off. And I did that. And God gave me those individuals that were successful and that took the time out to say, listen, I'm going to show you, I'm going to equip you. This is Natalia Hall. This is her. This is her in 2022. See, I was given that back in 1993. What you're getting now in Natalia Hall, I got that back in 1993. See, God gave me, He equipped me, but He said, I can only equip you based on you doing what? The servants that I placed in your space, they're going to show you. They're going to show you how to get to from this credit score to this credit score.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened so fast. I built my first house in 1998. But see, God said, listen now, listen now. See, 2022, you have what God gave me back in 1993. See, and you guys, listen. Y'all need to know. I check my credit score just like I check my bank account every day, sometimes twice a day. I get a notification on my phone. See,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Natalia Hosty, you get a notification on your phone every time your credit score go up. You get a notification on your phone. You know, you pay the extra $10. You get identity theft protection. They'll send you a notification if you are high risk versus low risk.
Mm-hmm.
You get that. Am I right, Natalia? Do you get that,
100.
Natalia?
Yeah.
See, she educated me, so that's the reason why I'm saying it. But I want her to make sure, because in case I slip, you know, and because I get a little excited. But I learned a lot from Natalia Hall, and fast forward, I was like, listen, I like what you do, and I'm gonna spread the word and pass people your way, so that they
So
will
much.
be able
Yeah.
to reap they reap these fruit. They'll reap these fruits. But this sister here will be able to give you the tools that you need so that you're sitting in the overflow, credit
Mm-hmm.
wise. But then she turned around and said, listen, guys, in order once you get to that 800 plus, see, let me tell you something. The 750 club. It's a 750 club. They're like, what's the 750 club? 750 plus score.
Mm-hmm.
When they throw credit cards at you, I'm talking about credit cards with 3%, 4% interest rate. Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goldman Sachs. They got Goldman Sachs credit cards. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Natalia's not going to tell you what it is. You look it up. Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
SACHS.
American
Goldman
Express.
Sachs.
Yeah.
American Express. Where you able to fly. You every time you use that card, they pay you to use their card. The banks will pay you.
Yeah.
Those are the incentives you have, Natalia.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you have people. I know I had someone prior to you coming onto the show. They're renting, so because renting doesn't get reported.
No, it does not get reported. Now, if regularly they don't report it, but there are ways. There's companies that will actually report your rent payments for you,
Okay.
and actually, I have to I have someone, but I also believe we'll talk about that too, Gigi, because I believe you also have connected well for individuals that will help to also get your rent reported. So we
Okay.
have a community that supports you to make sure that that helps too, because you do. Some people just don't have any credit and they need to be able to build, or their credit was bad and now they need to show some positive history. So we do have a way for you to actually start establishing your rental payments as positive credit. You can do that for sure. Yeah. So I'm grateful for that. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a huge thing. I did, if I could say something really quickly, because I know that we're coming to a close, guys. I learned so much from this woman, and I'm just, as a mom, I see the way that she raises her boys. I see the way that she is dedicated to her family, and I just want to say thank you again, because I was I've been in this position lately where I've just been asking God. I was in church just yesterday, and I was in church for maybe it was 11 hours. I think we were there, and I just kept praying, and I kept asking God to say, use me, use me, use me, use me in the way that you want to use me. And so all the things that have happened, over the course of my life, I'm not even, you know what, let me fast forward. Let me just talk about 2021.
Mhm.
All the things that have happened in 2021. I have gone through some things that brought me to this point to where I was able to step outside of fear and allow God to use me the way that He's always wanted to use me.
Mm.
I wasn't able to um, do do everything that he fully had, set for me before, when I was, trying to do things my own way. But if there's anything that I can encourage you to do, is just look at the path that you're taking, look at the positions that you're being put in, look at the people that God is connecting you to. And if you are obedient and you say, God, use me in the way that you truly want to use me, even if you're in a place right now where you don't feel like you're happy or you're not in the right place. If you're constantly asking God to use you and you are willing, because being willing is a big thing too. You can't just say it. You have to be willing to allow God to use you. What's going to happen is He's going to shift things. He's going to start shifting things. It's not going to always feel good. It's always feel good. It's going to be hard. It's going to be things that have to be removed in order for you to get from behind that curtain and for God to push you forward in the direction that He wants to push you. But I'm telling you, if you have the desire, if you have the heart, if you choose to surrender and you say, God, use me, He's going to do some powerful things in your life. And guys, I'm telling you this as a testimony, because I was not always this person that could stand here and have these conversations, because I was just so ashamed of where I was and the mistakes that I made. But you have a testimony. You have something inside of you that God wants to use you for. You are moving in the right direction as long as you are being obedient, and that's the biggest thing that I want to say. Maybe that could be my closest statement, because I'm looking at the time. But I just want to thank you for always, you've been that person that has always said to me, decrease me and increase God in me. You would always say, ask God, decrease me and increase you in me. And the more that I've done that, the more blessings have come to my family, have come to everybody that I've been connected to, along with myself. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natalia doesn't have to say anything. All you have to do, she just can just stand there. It's her spirit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked her to be on my show. There are people that are in their feelings because I haven't asked them to be on my show. Listen, I didn't do this myself. I asked God for this. God, the Holy Spirit woke me up at 1:47 a.m. the 1st of December.
Mm.
See, He woke me up at 1:47 because I asked for it. I was not sowing enough and I wanted to sow more. And so the Holy Spirit said, get your butt out of the bed at 1:47 a.m. the 1st of December. Go into that office and put pen to.
Hey, Gigi, I think, did you just freeze on my end, or are you frozen? Because I can't hear you. Everyone, if you could just give her a moment. I think there were some technical difficulties, but she should be back on in a second.
Okay.
Okay,
Are we
perfect.
there? That's
I
all
was
right. The Holy Spirit
on.
tried to end. Look,
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit had to override what the enemy was trying to do. The enemy was trying to
Yeah.
stop me from saying what
You saw that?
you
Yeah.
see.
Uh-huh.
Power. But listen,
Mm-hmm.
God gave me what I asked for. Listen, He allowed me to get my book published and my show. And I'm just not gonna allow just anybody to be on this platform, because this is God. This is God gave me this. And
Yes.
so Natalia Hall is just one of these angels, chosen angels. She's a frontline soldier, but she's a special one. She's a special frontline soldier. And God has her in a totally different category, but He has His hand of protection over her. But God is asking you to make sure that you take inventory of your situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know someone, pass on the information. Say, listen, I'm this show right here. Listen, I have an individual that may be able to help you. Let's look at this show. Check it out. Reach out to Natalia Hall. So guys, reach out to Natalia Hall. Reach out to her. Natalia, I want to thank you so very much
Thank
for
you.
taking time out of your busy schedule to share this platform with me. I pray that God's continued blessings over you, your beautiful bundle of joy, your gift.
Thank
I
you.
pray for God to just reign more supreme blessings over you. I'm going to say this one last time. You, the gift that He's given you, Christian Gold. Stay in position.
Yes.
Stay on your post.
Mm-hmm.
Be very careful of who you allow in your space.
Yes.
Get permission from God for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Start the day with Him in the forefront, in the day with Him in the forefront.
Always.
God is about to do the unthinkable. 2022 is going to end, and you're going to be so mesmerized. All because He said, all because you were obedient. Guys, listen. This is G Mone'a. Next week, June 18th, I have a young, beautiful, she's 15 years old, Danae Jolly. Young
Yes.
designer. She's a young designer. Listen, guys, when you see her sketches, it's gonna blow you away. Danae Jolly will be my guest next Saturday, June 18th, guys. Listen, I want you all to do what counts. Be the change you want to see. Do that. And watch God do the rest. Guys, you all have a wonderful rest of the evening. Again, this is G Mone'a and Natalia Hall. Listen, guys, we're out.
Now that's what I call sowing. Enough of growing. I know you enjoyed yourself. I did. So come back again next week for some more.
It ain't so Saturday. It ain't so Saturday. G